Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is Wednesday, 17 July 2025. Welcome to yet another episode of Pre-Market Commentary. Today I'm talking a little bit outside India before we get into the Indian market. This is about what happened yesterday in the US markets. US markets, especially Dow Jones, fell badly, and Nasdaq was doing well, but it also lost most of its gains, and so did S&P, and it closed in the negative as far as S&P was concerned. Only Nasdaq closed in the positive. But yesterday something significant happened, which may be a precursor for tricky times ahead. Now I take you back to what happened yesterday. Let's first discuss that. This was something about the number three bank in US by assets. JP Morgan is the number one, and Wells Fargo is the number three. Remember, Wells Fargo was one of the top holdings of Warren Buffett at one point of time. So what did Wells Fargo do yesterday? It spread panic. It showed that they borrowed about $200 billion to stay in business for the quarter. So then investors are now starting to panic and wondering which bank will be next. Remember, 2 years ago, March 2023, when Silicon Valley Bank failed and a lot of other banks failed, or rather they had liquidity problems, and finally Fed had to intervene and push in liquidity. So whether this will form another kind of panic like that, we have to see. But yesterday, if you see WFC's Wells Fargo, it came down by nearly 7%. Then Western Alliance Bank Corporation, these are all medium-sized banks. They all were down 3.8, 3.15, and up to about you had Ally Financial, which is another big one, which is down to about 2.6, and then Bank of California 2.58. So number of banks yesterday, the investors in those banks panicked, led by Wells Fargo, which is the third largest bank in US as far as assets are concerned. So we may have follow-on selling in US. We should be ready for those tricky times. Otherwise, we are not connected in any way. But if you remember March 2023, when there was panic there, we also panicked slightly. But I still believe that whenever somebody panics, which are not relevant to us, we should be buyers on all those declines. So I continue to remain bullish, but I know there are tricky situations. So we need to factor them in when we buy. We need not buy recklessly across the board. So Gift Nifty is indicating lower. This is about 80 to 100 points lower. No reason excepting what happened in the US. So US futures again are lower after the June CPI, which had gone up. And Donald Trump says pharma tariffs will probably be coming at month's end. Now, previously he said 1 week, then month's end, then he said after 18 months. So one is not sure. So there could be some follow-up selling in many pharma stocks today, but I don't believe when he says it will come by month end. I don't think US can afford to putting reckless tariffs on pharma companies. So I think it will get postponed. Then they had a tariff deal with Indonesia, 19% on Indonesia, and Indonesia will allow free flow of goods from US. But Jakarta is not confirmed, but I think that will go through. So yesterday, what happened in US? Nvidia share surged 4%. That is why it became, Nasdaq had gone up more than 200 points. Tesla was down. I don't know why, but the reason given is debut launch in India, and they feel that it will not succeed. But anyway, Tesla is only catering to a insignificant number of car buyers. Inflation, US actually rose. That is why the 10-year yield went up to 4.47. Normally, it has been trading between 4.3 to 4.4, 4.45. But I think sooner or later it will come down. But that is what it is. European markets all closed in the red, and oil was steady at 70 barrels per dollar. So basically, because the market is tight as far as oil is concerned, so that is why oil is going up slightly. But again, I don't think it will sustain above 70 for long. It probably will be in 60 to 70 range now, and below 60 is going to be difficult. Above 75 also is going to be difficult. So yesterday, trading markets held on to gains. The broader markets actually outperformed. 2:1 was the advanced decline. Mid cap rose much better. Sensex and Nifty rose 0.5. Mid cap rose double. So that was the market yesterday. market had fallen 4 days. So all the technical analysts were talking about 3 black crows, fourth black crow, so it'll break 25,000 on the Nifty, but nothing of that happened. And now people are still talking of 24,000. Some analysts I saw on Twitter were talking about 24,100. I don't know from where they're getting the number, but I will be very surprised if you start trading below 25,000. So I think the path of least resistance is up, but it may struggle. As I said, it is a tricky time because of the banks in the US. So then you have FIs and DIs. They are not sellers. They were sellers last week, FIs. Now they were buyers, but marginal buyers, but not sellers. That's important. DIs bought the usual quota of 1,500 crores. So as far as institutions are concerned, there is no problem. What are the stocks to watch? Positive probably will be Bajaj Finserv. They got IRDA nod for equity transfer by their arm. Brigade Enterprises subsidiary will be set up to preeminent center in Hyderabad. And then GIC, RE, and New India Insurance. IRDA has approved rural and third-party obligations norm for FY 25-27. Adani Wilmar agribusiness, some Q1 revenue has hit a record 17,058 crores. So that may rub off on ITC, in my opinion. Neutral ICICI Lombard came with good results, but it looks like it's already factored in. Negative is HDFC Life. The margins are flat. So HDFC Life may be under pressure. Then the other stocks are Tata Motors and M&M. India, because India is signing a rare earth magnet pact with Japan and South Korea. So that will help the auto sector. That is why yesterday Bajaj Auto also went up. Maruti went up. Generally, autos went up yesterday. Zydus Life is getting the US FDA nod for arthritis drugs and capsules. So that may be in the positive territory. Dixon Tech, very high priced, is acquiring 51% in QTech India. Dixon Tech has got its own set of followers, so maybe that will go up. Biocon, it's expanding a diabetes portfolio with Kirsty launched by Biocon. We hold and we are very bullish on Biocon. As of now, it has not performed. It is not crossing 400, but I think it's a matter of time before Biocon is the cynosure of all eyes. But that may take 6 months to 12 months. Today, what are the results? Tech Mahindra is coming up. I think Tech Mahindra also will not report good results. HCL Tech did not report, TCS did not report. So I think it will be in line with other tech stocks. The others are DB Corp, Angel One, and ITC Hotels. We hold ITC Hotels, so we may see some interesting results on ITC Hotels, and I'm also expecting ITC to do well. So yesterday was an exclusive interview with the RBI governor, with Madam Lasa Venkatesh, and lots of things were covered. And the RBI governor is happy that inflation has come down. He says because we have maintained it neutral, we can even go down as far as interest rates are concerned, but they will watch the situation. 1 month number is not good enough, is what he happened to say. So as I said, GIFT Nifty is opening lower, will open lower. I will continue to buy my set of stocks on an intraday basis. I will look for bargains. Yesterday, for instance, we bought Tejas because we saw the volume numbers and we think the worst is over for the company. But of course, it may still go lower than yesterday's low, and it may struggle for some time because you see people were shocked with the results. But I think some smart people have bought, so it may take 3 months or more for it to stabilize. I believe in the next 6 months to 1 year, things should be much better for Tejas. So I feel this is a good entry point for long-term value investors, which we are. So we have bought into Tejas there. So whatever you do, I hope it is full. Thank you for joining me.